I'm Caitlin Stansel, live from downtown Charleston, where Democrat Joe Cunningham will be watching the election results roll in here at the American Theater. We'll have more from the race for South Carolina's 1st Congressional District straight ahead.
The race for the 1st Congressional District, one of the hottest and most talked about races tonight. Katie Arrington and Joe Cunningham both fighting for your vote and a seat in Congress. Caitlin Stansel has been covering Joe Cunningham tonight, but first, Harv Jacobs joins us live from Mount Pleasant at Katie Arrington's watch party. Harv, even though the polls haven't closed yet, Arrington is already labeling her watch party a victory party.
She is, Bill. This is a very heavy Republican district. That's one reason. Also, she has the support of President Trump, who actually made a robocall on her behalf to voters a couple of days ago. And Katie Arrington's won a lot of battles already. She defeated incumbent Mark Sanford, as we know, in the primary. She also survived and recovered from a horrible car accident. Now, her critics are calling her a President Trump puppet. Arrington told you, Bill, and she tells others it's not the case, that she has her own views and her own agenda, that she wants to be tough in immigration, pushing for low taxes, also wants more infrastructure here in South Carolina. And we're going to find out later tonight. She's not here. Of course, she's out campaigning. We saw her at the National Guard Armory campaigning earlier. It's supposed to be a pretty close race, people believe, between her and Joe Cunningham. As we all know, she's been quoted as saying this is a race between good and evil. And we'll find out who gets the last word later tonight. We're on the roof of the Staybridge Suites in Mount Pleasant. We'll be here all night. And when Katie Arrington gets here and is ready to speak, of course, later tonight, we'll take it live. Live in Mount Pleasant, Harv Jacobs. Live 5 News.
All right, Harv, thank you. No Democrat has held South Carolina's 1st district seat since the 1980s, but first-time candidate Joe Cunningham hasn't let that stop him from running a fierce race against the GOP's Katie Arrington. Caitlin Stansel inside the American Theater, where Cunningham will be holding his watch party tonight in downtown Charleston. Caitlin, what's the mood there in the Cunningham camp tonight?
Well, it's still empty here at the American Theater. This watch party doesn't get underway until 7 o'clock, so crews are still setting up all of the decorations and getting ready for Cunningham to arrive. But Joe Cunningham has run as a Democrat for the South Carolina 1st Congressional District. Despite that, though, he's taken a somewhat nonpartisan approach to his campaign. Low country over party has been his slogan leading up to this election day, promising coastal voters that he will work across party lines to tackle issues like offshore drilling and infrastructure needs. And that may be why some experts have called this race a competitive one between Cunningham and Katie Arrington. Cunningham has appealed to Republican voters by offering a more moderate approach than Arrington's staunch support of President Donald Trump. Cunningham has even garnered some support from Republican mayors and other leaders here in the Low Country. But will that be enough to keep him ahead of this Republican majority tonight? That's really the question that will be answered through this election. And one poll has suggested that Arrington is favored by 7 points ahead of Cunningham in this race. And I did speak with Cunningham's reps just a little bit ago. They said they might be a little late to this watch party tonight because of those lines at the polling locations. But again, everything's set to get started here at the American Theater at 7 o'clock tonight. Live from downtown Charleston, Caitlin Stansel, Live 5 News.
And one of the hottest tickets on the ballot today in the Low Country here for District 1 race for Congress.
It's between GOP candidate Katie Arrington on the right and Joe Cunningham, Democrat, on the left. Both those candidates are now just awaiting the results as election officials start counting those ballot boxes.
We're going to send things to Caitlin Stansel right now, live from the American Theater on King Street, where Cunningham is holding his party.
Caitlin, no Democrats held South Carolina's 1st district since the Reagan era.
Yeah, Rolf and Lisa, if Democrat Joe Cunningham is able to pull off a win tonight, this would be big news because a Democrat has not held the South Carolina 1st congressional seat for almost 4 decades. His staff tells me they're expecting 500-plus people here tonight at the American Theater for his watch party. Things are just getting started. Doors are opening, and people are starting to trickle in here for this watch party. And I'm told that Cunningham might be a little bit late as well because of those long lines at the polls. But we did catch up with him earlier today as he was casting his own ballot.
excited. You know, I feel proud of our team and the race we've run, and that we've been running on the issues and on the values that I have, the values I share with people here in the Low Country. You know, we've been running against this political tribalism that's tearing our country apart, and we've garnered a lot of bipartisan support. Republican mayors, council members, all who have gotten behind our campaign and helped propel us forward to today, and will bring us across the finish line of victory.
A couple of weeks ago, Cunningham was campaigning with former Vice President Joe Biden, and Biden has called this midterm election one of the most important ever. So there are a lot of eyes watching this race for the 1st District in South Carolina tonight between Democrat Joe Cunningham and GOP candidate Katie Arrington. But of course, the waiting game has started now that it is just past 7 o'clock to see if Cunningham's efforts have been enough to garner him a victory tonight. Live from the American Theater in downtown Charleston, Caitlin Stansel, Live 5 News.
And election night is coming to a close here in the Low Country tonight. Many of the results are still coming in.
Our team coverage out across the state tonight following all those major races from here in Charleston up to the Midlands and Columbia. One of the most watched matchups today will be the one for the 1st District congressional race.
That is between Joe Cunningham and Katie Arrington. We go first with our team coverage to Harv Jake.
A first-time candidate, Joe Cunningham, his first election day running for office against Arrington.
And to give you those numbers real quick, right now with about 52% of the precincts reporting, she is ahead by 53% of the vote to his 47%. Our Caitlin Stansel is at his watch party and has more.
Hey, Ralph and Lisa, yeah, there is still a lot of energy here at the American Theater for Joe Cunningham's watch party. But despite this support, the only county the Democratic candidate has been able to turn blue so far is Charleston County. And I did talk to one supporter here tonight who described Charleston County as the blue island in a red sea, the jewel of the Low Country, leading the Low Country and the state forward politically. But others say they found it hard to be optimistic going into today until they saw the voter turnout. And Cunningham's camp has said that that voter turnout they believed would really benefit them here for Election Day. We knew this was going to be a hard race for him to defeat Arrington because this district has not supported a Democratic candidate in almost 4 decades. Cunningham, his team says that he is on the way here to the American Theater and is set to give a speech, but he is not conceding just yet, and this race has not been called. This is still a developing situation here at the American Theater. We're going to bring you those results live as soon as Cunningham gets here and gets up to the podium. I'm live at the American Theater in downtown Charleston. Caitlin Stansel, Live 5 News.